Okay, I'm going to be going over I, space, number, and I. And just to start off, that it doesn't matter what you write down. Anything that is done on a keyboard will have an alter relationship in value of its reality. Now, since I can only tell you that phrase and not completely explain it to you, the value it actually has to most people will be nil or none. Okay, it'll only take a few that will understand. When you put a space, it could mean an add-on, it could be a subtraction, it could be an addition, it could be saying as the first letter is always capitalized, it can always be saying as the first letter is, how can we start a phrase? All of us here in the group, starting the phrase using all first. You can say we and everybody using we first, using the capital as W. Every single letter will have a position in the basic alphabet under the layman terms for North America. Since North America, for me, I understand it as the new country, and Europe, I understand as the old country. I also use the initials for Europe using the E. If you want to talk about the Western countries, which I think they emanate to say Russia as a Western country, I will use W, I will use E, and I will use N. Western, European, North American. Western being the W. W equals to the 23rd letter. 2 plus 3 equals to 5. European equals to the E letter. The E letter is the 5th letter in the alphabet. The N letter is the 14th letter in the alphabet, and 1 plus 4 equals to 5. So we are garnering or looking at 5, 5, 5. This in the star system will now be 11. All zeros equal to 6, or all missing spaces. Now, when I use this terminology, we do not have an in-between in two numbers. Okay, now there's so many things because I was just working on this in yesterday, relationships, but okay, we're not going to get into that right now. I started with one thing about the, now F and M, when you put these together, F being 6, M being 13, 13 being the 13th year as masculine, but 1 plus 3 equals to 4, making 4 masculine, making 6 feminine. And the thing funny about that is that on the cube, okay, the only time we get the center relationship for creation is boom. You're making your female inserting the light of the male. You're 13, right? Next door neighbors, okay, where 13 will bring in, the 3 will bring in the 4, which is now the male, and the 1 will bring in the 6, which is now the female. 1 times 6, 1 plus 6, the spirit is 76. That relationship will bring on the freedom or the roadway, okay, of the star system of 55, only because the addition and the multiplication. The multiplication brings you onto the cross. I mean, the addition brings you onto the cross. This is your addition. This is your multiplication. Why? Because when drawing on square papers, you have obligations. Okay? When you put this into a single square, you cannot cut straight down through that single square. The only way to cut down through a single square is to have an automatic of 4 squares. Every square gets a total value of 9, but when you put 2 squares together, what will happen in these squares is these lines that are in between, right? You would have 1, 2, 3, 4. You cannot put anything in the square, so you need a minimum of 4 squares. But you only have each corner, 1 here, 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 1 here. So 4 will create 9 area space. 1 will create 4 area space. So now we have, I'm going to try and write this down. 1 square creates 4 plus 1, and then 4 squares will create the actuality of 9. But the reality of this is once you start filling in your spaces, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3 on line, 4, 5 on line, 6, 7, 8 on line, and then boom, 8 plus 1. The center value equals to 8 and 1/8. Is that what it is? 8 and 1/8. So you have 8 times 8 and 1/8 equaling to your 9. 8, 1, 8. Okay. You're looking at these designs, how we get the nose, the reality of this nose, because of whether or not we're crossing over to a center dot over here or the in-between area space over here. Now I know I'm jumping all over the place, and we were talking about I number 9 and I, and your design of I number 9 and I don't think I'll be able to get it on my camera very well. Okay, it shows the 2 half moons, but I'm going to pause it, and I do want to show you what I see in that. So just give me a second. Okay, I'm starting this video. I stopped it to look for the logo for Coral Castle, and Coral Castle, the moon. I looked for the moon, and if you take a look at the moon, you can put runners on the moon, turning that moon C until it's on the other side, and then so the moon is like a rocker. Now when it's the full moon, the question is, have the 2 quarters come together? Now it doesn't matter how we see it, because magic is magic and you can't see it. The hand is quicker than the eye. You can't actually see into space. So I'm just coming up and telling you all these things. So now I have to go and get back this design here. I was looking at, yes, the information here, and the duality with the feminine masculine relating to the frequencies. February, March, and April is noted as the 2nd and 3rd and 4th month of the year. But if Jesus is actually born on the 25th of December, how have our calendars been switched? Where actually has he been born? The Jewish calendar is different because they say the New Year's is September and October according to the new moon. So if that was true, we'd have September, October, November, December, and January, and February would be the 6th month, March would be the 7th month, and April would be the 8th month. And in the deck of cards, those 3 cards connect to the center of 2 squares, and each square representing a new world circle. And I'm saying it this way because you can go on the outside of the square, and you're going to have to lower that music, please. You're going to have to go on the outside of that square and the inside of that square to create the thickness of that circle. Now, if you had a circle, you'd put a square on the inside, you'd put a square on the outside, and then you put a circle on the outside. So it's just positioning, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really explain it, so now I look like a whatever. Anyways, now when you're talking about 4 times 28, there's meant 2 ways to do this 4 times 28. There's 4 times 20 equals to 80. Now we're talking about communication, and you're also talking about a star system link. And the reason I mention the star system link is because 1379 is 20 and 2468 is 20. So those would be your, let's say, 2 circles, right? And then you have your squares where it's 1379 on the outside. Now you can also link the 25, the 25th letter, okay, is the Y letter. Check out this design. I mean, I'm all over the place because, I mean, we're just linking all the time. It's a constant link. You see the Y and inside the so now back to this. Y is the 25th letter. The reverse of it is the B letter. Okay? Bye bye, Miss America Pie. I drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. A levee is a price to be paid. Good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye. WH for whiskey, 23rd and 8th letter, the heaven of creation matrix. Why? Because the 23rd letter is now the reverse, okay? What is equals to the 5th letter, 2 and 3 is 5. The multiplication, it brings in all kinds of stuff. I put the multiplication, it brings in one thing. I use the 4 corners for 20. I use the multiplication, which includes the E in the center world. You're including the E in the center world. Are you including the E in the center world? Are we now on an angle and including this reality? If I put this reality together, or these realities together, this reality will create me the M. If I put two of these face to face, it'll eventually create the honeycomb right over here. See, this will fit onto the end of here. You turn it around, you now put on your Star of David, depending on how you connect these links up. So it's all a star system of shapes. And we all know that this eventually, right, this eventually will create a cube. At the same time, when you start to link them, you're going to start to connect your X and your O. But let's not get into that. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Okay, because prime only means one of or part of a continuation or an attachment of creation, the beginning of the first part of Adam, right? You create Adam, he is one half, you create the whole atom, you have the center of the nuclei of, and I need to get into sciences to understand this reality. The next thing I was going to talk about, yes, is that when we got to February, March, and April, if you take a look at the deck of cards, the 6 is inside the 7 card, and the 7 is inside the 8 card. So therefore, 6 and 7, 13 is inside the 8 card. That means 13, 1, and 3 equals to 4. 4 is inside 8. What? At the same time, the 13, okay, and the 5 are the orange ball and pool. And I had somebody leave me a message connecting the 5 and 13 yesterday, and I'm not sure where I put that, but the 5 and 13, yes, here's where it actually fits in, where I was at the pharmacy, and you have to follow everything, right? Because I'm still on 4 times 28. So I'm at the pharmacy, and the pharmacist draws my name with the letter N. I said, pharmacy man, it's an M. He says, yes. He says, that's how the doctors write it. They write the M like the N. The R looks like the N. You know, so I already know that in gematria that the N and M are both 1 and 1. So it's on the same line. It's just a continuation, just saying I'm the N part or I'm the N part. But it's the same continuous line. It's like, here's the string. Hold on with both ends. Are you the M or the N? Who cares? I'm in between both of you. Okay, great. Make me look like a complete nut. It's almost like I'm smoking something, putting something under my tongue. Go, whoa! I'm all over the place. I got all kinds of pharmas. Some that get me high, some that get me low, some that get me big, some that get me small. Everybody think I'm taking Viagra. You know what I'm saying? Right? Alice in Wonderland. Some pills make me big, some make me small. The first thing everybody thinks about today is Viagra. You wouldn't have thought about that 40 years ago when the film came out. Anyways, let me get back into this number 28. The 4-cycle moon, when you're talking about the cycle moon, remember, these are the basic moons we have to understand, is that Mars has 2 moons. Earth has 1 moon. So right away, we have Adam, Alpha, Beta, 1 moon and 2 moons. Then we have 4 moons. So right away when you have 4 moons, or one of the planets, I don't remember, has 13 moons. Those 13 moons right away have to link to the sun. Because of the orange ball in pool is telling us 1 and 3, which is altered current, AC air conditioning, or no air conditioning. North America, no air conditioning in here. The altered group. 13, 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 will create 3 and 4. Now that's DC and everything relates to black. You relate to black, all of a sudden you're in the star system of Saturn, because everybody talks about that as a star system. The minute you talk about black, you're talking about overlap and overlay. Look at this. If I had a string here, I'll use the paper. Look. The black cat came back. I had him on this side. I looked at it. Brought him back to that side. Black cat, string system, DC, boom, matrix, the linking of the film. Black cat, DC, 3 and 4, 4 again, because of 13, 1 and 3 is 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. The star system. And when you do this, we start going by the coats of armor, because inside the war and in certain flags, especially in Switzerland, what their flag looks like, look at the flags that stand up like this and other flags that stand up like that. We're actually telling us multiplication and addition. We don't need subtraction, because unless we have everywhere the 4 sides, we, hold on a second. What? That's yours. Yeah. That's yours. The fish is yours. There's mackerel. There's beans. Okay, I'm back on. Oh, I never stopped it. I thought I stopped the video. Oh my God, I thought I stopped the video. So you heard all that stuff. Okay, so that stuff has been said. Okay, so now we're going to get to the 4 by 28. This 4 by 28, 4 by 20 is 80. Now, all zeros equal to 6, but since there was an 8 on this, we're not going to count the 0 as 6. We're going to just go 80, saying that's my communication. Now we're going to go 4 times 8 is 32. It now equals to 5. We now have 85. H and E. Now, we can take this 8 and 5 and use it the way we want. 85 is the number for the Silver Spirit Mercedes matrix. It is 6 away from the numeric value for Spirit. It is 1 away from complete the communication of the 9 lives of the cat, because the numeric value for cat in the star system using multiplication and addition is 2 times 4, 2 plus 4, equaling to 8 and 6. When you get number 5 involved in this, okay, the H is in the A family. The E family is now involved because you have 8 and 5 coming together. 8 times 5, 8 minus 5, whatever that calculation is, you now have this new world creation coming in, because in the 5 family, it is W-E-N, north, east, and west. We do not have south in there as the 19th letter. Artificial intelligence, air conditioning, an add-on, the S. And in the S, we don't need it to be number 5, okay? The S is going to relate to the number 7, which is the gateway, and the S letter is telling us, hey, look at me. I'm just like a number 5, but I'm an S. I'm a snake. I'm going up and around, and I'm like 2 seas. I'm like 2 oceans. I'm like 2 passages. I'm going up and around like your DNA, relinking, reconnecting some kind of system. Remember, Moses had 1 snake, and it curled up and it ate 2 snakes. So we have to bring everything. I do games people play in relationships of everything that has been created. So now when we get to this 4 by 28, forget about it being 4 times 28. It equals to 85, and they're talking about the connection of the matrix. It's talking about life. When you get to the total of 4 times 28 value, 4 plus 28 will equal to 32. That is the BC world creation of the freezing point. Celsius and Fahrenheit in 6 and 3. C and F. CFs. CFs. I have to go to science now. I need a bunch of people. I got to keep picking people's information up so we can start to link this together. Now, the whole thing at the end of it, the reality is we're not alone, and Earth is not the only planet, and we have been created, and the Big Bang Theory happened somewhere else, or somebody made it as a Big Bang. He went boom. I went to bed. She was nice. He was nice looking. I went boom, boom. 9 months later, I had a baby. Boom, boom, boom. Anyways, the big orgasm of life, right? Organisms of life. Moving around of the little fish and the little worm that was in the apple of life, or the wormhole. We're talking about the apple equaling the heart, knowing that everything now must pass through the heart. I don't feel good. I don't feel good in my heart. My sentiments, the sand and the sentiments, okay, of the water that's flowing inside of me and resting, the oceans and the river resting on the matter that's inside of me, of everything that matters, the mental situation, and I'm all over the place now because this is way too exciting. Just like this design here. Look, I'm the man over here. I'm holding up these 2 sides. Here's my 2 arms, and I'm holding up the 2 sides. Anyways, I want to get back into this relationship here. 2 times 3, 2 plus 3, BC world, before Christ, W, equals to 11. 11, everybody knows, is the ace, blackjack. Jack, Ace 11, BJ 2 and 10, the blue world and pool, the dark blue world. Before it was imploded by the cue ball, CUE. 3, letter U, 21 and 5, meaning the explosion in electric company because of the numeric values used. N, 1 times 4, 1 plus 4, 5 and 4 into the sun system. 14 and 13 now come together. The 13, 1 and 3, and 1 and 4, right? 4 and 5 is now the sun, the orange sun. And to create orange, we need yellow and red, bringing the 1 ball and the 9 ball. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3, 3 and 4. 3 times 4, 3 plus 4 equals 7 and 12, 19. Artificial intelligence, A and I, into the 1 and 9, and now we have created the yellow ball. The yellow ball and the red ball, the 1 and the 3 ball have come together to create the orange ball. 5 and 4 in through the wormhole in the sun, connecting our apples through the wormhole and pumping air into the system, creating life as the organisms grew from where? Whatever we're finding on this earth, because earth is created and has been put back into. They created the mold and everything together, and the winds blew over the land, and islands, right? I mean, you're looking at earth, but really, it's all islands. 70% or 60% is ocean, and everything you see that's not the ocean is sitting on top of the ocean, in between lakes and rivers. You go up to the top of a mountain, not on all of them, but somehow there's a river up there. I mean, there's a lake up there. How did that get up there, and how come it's staying there? How come it ain't running away? The system. How does 21 work for you? We're back to, again, I and I, talking about this. And I'm going to go back to this number in I and the February, March, April, because we're in a system. You have to remember how many years are in the leap year system. The actual minimum amount of years in the leap year system is 3 years, and a leap year is 4, and then 3 years. There's 7 years. And then to link that system, you only linked the 1 year of the leap year in the center. You have to go 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. Now we linked 3 in the center, so we have 3 and 1. I'm going to write this down. We have 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 and 3. And I'm going to take the camera off and show you this. This is like hell. This is like so exciting when you're connected. It's like so exciting. I'm so excited when I'm back into this. I've been out of it and into the hospital. And when I get excited, you know, I feel it, and it's moving inside of me, really moving inside of me. So here we start off with the first system, right? We get 3 years, we get a leap year, we get 3 years. We now have this one involved. Although February, March, and April, okay, in our regular time is the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th month. If we reverse this to December, this becomes the 11th month, this becomes the 10th month, and this becomes the 9th month. If we go into the 2nd year, okay, this becomes in the 2nd year, year 2, February, okay, is the 2nd month in year 2. In year 2, it is the 2nd month in year 1. Sorry, let me do this again. I'm getting way too excited, and I'm way ahead here. Let me get this here. We have February, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5, because we have to create the entire moving system. So here it's 2, here it's 14, here it's 26, here it's 38, and over here it is 50. So that means March and April, and you have to note that the first day of April is the 91st day of the year. SPIRIT, spirit, equals to 91. So we now have March as the 3rd and the 4th month, and we have this as the 15th month and the 16th month and the 27th month and the 28th month and the 39 and the 40, and we have 51 and we have 52. We have her world into Mars and then Earth. These two make up Mercury. inside 39 and 40. Here we have the red sun. Here we have Saturn. Here we have February, the church, the dog, the DNA. Here we have 3.15, if you want to look at it this way. Here we have the red sun. Here we have Mars. Here we have the red sun. Here we have Saturn. Here we have Mars again. So it's these two worlds in between. We have 2, 5, saying Earth. 258. 258 is on the cross, and 258 is right over here. We have 25825. 3 and 8, 11. 1 and 1 is 2. Here we have 3, 6, 9, 3, 6. 9 and 3 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. Here we have 4, 7, 1, 4, 7. We have 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, 9, 2, 5, 8. And we have February, March, and April. That is a fantastic, fantastic find. And this is your star system leap. So we go 3, 1, 3, and then we get the 3 is now in the center. And this is the center of your system. How many years do we need to do this? Okay, first of all, we need a left and a right. So we connect 3, 1, and then we go 3, 1, and then we go 3, 1, and then we go 3 and 1. So we find this and this to this and this. Now we have a complete center over here. So now we have to continue this. Here is where the exact mirror happens in this scenario. 4, 8, 12. We need 16 years. How sweet it is. And now to get this involved as the center system, okay, or these 3 involved in the center system, I would need to add on 3 more years, and then we'd have the mirror-like reverse in numbers, because artificial intelligence mirrored numbers, see this 16, 19, flip them upside down, 16 and 19, this is on one side. The minute you flip the board over, the roulette board starts to repeat, and the next number to the first cycle of the mirrored images is at 19. I mean, we count 1 to 18, and then we start off 19 to 36. 1 through 18 equals to 171, if I got that correct. 19, well, I'm just trying to think, 19 and 20. Well, 19 plus 20 equals to 39, right. What's missing here is 19 and 20 if you're adding to 20, and that'll be 39, and that will be Saturn's system added. And inside of here, it'll be 495, and the total will be 666. There was one other thing I wanted to mention, is that our moon system reflective is 44444433333. Planet Lovejoy. And Planet Lovejoy, the way I understand it, is when the DC world links, and it also equals to, and this is 77 Christ, connected to 3 by 19 artificial intelligence, 3 by 25 Earth. The total 3 by 19 or 3 by 25, or adding them up equaling to 44 area space of the female worlds. 8 and 7. 4 times 4 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 4 plus 4 is 8. 7 and 8 is in between rotation of your 69. Man flips over, puts his thing inside her mouth. He puts his tongue inside her thing, and we have rotation. I say it that way because that's the truth, and we get the letters G and H inside I and F. And I just say it that way because that's the relationship of the whole thing. And anyways, 5775, the numeric value for the moon is here. If you add them up or you multiply them, this will end up to say 7 and 5, 12 and 12. Add them up. 1 and 2 is 3. 1 and 2 is 3. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3 and 2. We create the BC world. Let me do it again. 5 times 7, 5 plus 7 equals to 12, equals to 35. 3 plus 5 equals to 15, and added is 8. And this will equal to 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 plus 2 is 3. 8 and 15, the Mars system, will equal to 8 and 6. And now we have the split of the 7th gate, and the cat system of communication, 9 lives of the cat, has just entered into our world.
Raphael in a very extremely maybe too long video. Thank you for watching from the House of Paint of creation of our own games. Thank you for watching.